Do you want to give the best presentation of your life and make it memorable, impactful, and make you influential? Hail or storm, rain or shine, this acronym will absolutely make your every presentation memorable and impactful. I'm on the rise. So you want to give the best presentation of your life? I've only done over 10,000 presentations. And that's of all the things to do in my life, nothing gives me more pleasure than the opportunity and the privilege to talk to a group of people, to enhance, to be a catalyst to make their life better. Of course, over the years, I've read so many books on speaking and I've taken courses on speaking and stuff. So I'm going to give you in this short period of time an acronym. If you want to really give the best presentation of your life, if you remember this simple acronym of success, as a matter of fact, every presentation will become impactful, will become memorable, and you will also become highly influential. So what is success? The S stands for simple. I'm going to share with you what they stand for, and then I'm going to explain a little bit what I mean by that. The U stands for unexpected. And the first C of success stands for more concrete. And the second C is more credible. E is for emotional. And the last S is for story-based. To recap, success again is simple, unexpected, concrete, credible, emotional, and story-based. So let's talk about simple. Boil your presentation down to a simple message. What is the one thing that you want people to remember, to take home, and then repeat it through your presentation over and over again? Make it so simple that even a child can remember it, even a child can understand it. Like one of my talks that I give is in the power of personal handwritten thank you notes. And I just compared throughout the whole thing that if you want to make an impact, write personal thank you notes. If you want to build a long-lasting relationship, take the time to write personally handwritten thank you notes and then give examples of how I just story after story. So that's the S. 2, the second is unexpected. If you want people to remember you, don't start your presentation with, "Hi, my name is," because that's what they're expecting. This is the shock and awe. You just start almost, it sounds like in the middle, but the trick here is not to do it in a gimmicky way. It has to tie it right back into your presentation. And you can just take people on a journey. If you want to rise above, you have to do something unexpected. So think about what is unexpected. What can you tell them? Maybe a statistics and something that they'll remember. You start. I was doing a talk on statistics. So instead of coming out, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. Today I'm going to talk about statistics." And I just started with statistics. A wise man once said that statistics are like bikinis. They reveal a lot, but what they hide is vital. And the audience started, they're just shocked that they're visualizing and then just remember that metaphor as a matter of fact, and then go into repeating this thing. Next is concrete. Great presentations always put forth concrete ideas. They don't talk in vague generalities, and it draws people in because it's so concrete. They use metaphors, use stories to personalize it, and almost like you take people on a journey. Instead of saying that, "Oh, one day," not one day, it was September 17th. I remember it like it was yesterday at 2 p.m. There was a knock on the door. Very concrete, and telling that story and the metaphor, then tying it back. The next is credible. This is where you show your credibility, that what you're talking about, that you are an authority. So here you can actually use third-party endorsements if you don't have yours, and you write on their coattail, or the testimonials, or if you have degrees. It just, now people know that, hey, you're talking about it because you're a medical doctor. So you're not just anyone because you have this degree, or you've done it over 10,000 times. So you are an expert, and that gives you the credibility, the degrees and the things that you have. you stated, but without flaunting. Don't go out and flaunting this in just establishing credibility. The next is E is emotional. This is where you show your vulnerability and you get people to arouse their emotion. Every successful, memorable talk is there because it's emotional. I do a talk when I talk about the power of thank you notes, and I tell stories, and there's not a dry eye in the audience because it's so emotional, it's so personal, and becomes very emotional, and which actually brings me to the last one, S, that's story-based. And people forget all the facts and everything else, but they remember the story. That's why books are written as a fable to make all the points that they're trying to make through the story instead of just making, here are the 5 principles. No, these 5 principles are told through a fable, through a story that take you how they live the 5 principles, and they're story-based. So if you want to create the most memorable presentation of your life, impactful presentation of your life, remember this success acronym. Keep it simple and do something unexpected. Make sure that you be concrete, and you have the credibility, and it is emotional, and finally, it's story-based to your success. And if this acronym was helpful, I'll give you some more right here as a special gift from me to help you in your professional career. Until next time, see you tomorrow.